I
So
actually don't know.
yesterday I had to make a website for my dad's clinic
Yeah,
because they're adding like a online store portion. So
yeah.
so I basically did the exact same thing we did on the first episode.
Wait, did you
Um,
use a virtual machine or an old
well, like
laptop?
I'm using Google Cloud because
Oh,
uh,
you're using Google Cloud.
yeah.
Interesting.
So that's
But isn't it cheaper to just
I can't
do it
take
on
you
your
seriously with
own?
this mustache talking like that. This is too much for me right now.
I was thinking of shaving just this part and leaving just the
No,
mustache. But
I think it
I
looks
think that
good.
would be too much.
It actually looks good, but it's just the way you're saying it and the way. Oh god, that's too funny.
I think now would be a good time for you to tell us why you use Google Cloud services rather than using your own laptop.
So the only reason I did that is because there's a
I'm
lot of
sure there's more than one reason.
so the main reason I did it is because it's using a lot of like credit card information and like there might be some patient information in there at some point. And so just in the event that maybe like our home internet or something goes down, um, then I'm hosting it on like Google Cloud because they have like a zero, like basically 0% downtime, and then it's like a dedicated machine just for that. Like I got a pretty high tier
So you so
on the server on the virtual machine within Google Cloud. So
so your website is not shared. It's a dedicated machine just for your server only.
yeah, exactly.
That must be pretty costly actually, because usually
Yeah,
you share.
yeah, exactly. So I think it was like just under $30 a month.
Yeah. Wow. I thought in almost all instances you share, and if you do share, then that can pose a problem because if someone else's website goes down or there's some problem with it, then it might affect you, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a really low chance of it doing that, but yeah, it's also much cheaper to do it that way.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot cheaper to have it on a machine that's hosting a lot of different websites. So
Yeah.
that's cool, actually. I didn't know that you did that. Um, what is the other reason? You said the main reason. What's the other reason? Let's assume that your internet does not go down. Would you still host it on Google Cloud Services? Let's assume you had the best internet in the world.
Um, I don't know what the other reason is. I guess because the speed is faster. Like, like I know my connection at home is like relatively fast, but
Hmm.
like if I don't know if I'm downloading something or if I'm playing games or something, then
Yeah,
the network quality is reduced.
because it's being
Um,
shared between different
because
applications.
yeah, exactly, because it's being shared across like a bunch of different people. So
Okay.
like I don't want to make it like hurt the business in that sense. Especially if like it's like an online store and like there's like um I don't know, there's like people that need to book appointments and like all that stuff.
Let me ask you this then. Let's say you were to set it up at home, right? And let's say
Yeah.
those are the only two issues, right? Could you actually have usually you just have one access point for your home internet, right? You
Yeah.
could set up a separate access point for your internet and have that wired into your machine, right?
Yeah, like you
And
can
then no
always
one else on
allocate.
your home would use that.
Yeah, exactly. You can always allocate a certain amount of bandwidth as well
Yeah.
towards the virtual machine or the website or whatever you're hosting at your own house.
Wouldn't that be cheaper in the long run, or is Google
Yeah,
Cloud
I
Services
mean,
still cheaper?
no. Like it's always 100% going to be cheaper if you run it from home. Like no matter what.
But what about security issues?
Yeah,
Like,
so
does security issues ever grown up? Because you're dealing with actual people's money now.
yeah, exactly. And I'm doing the exact same stuff I did like here and I sent you a video about how to secure a web server. So I basically followed that exact same thing,
But because
but
that that
it was on a
that, that
virtual machine.
yeah, but because that material is out, like how to secure a web server, um, nefarious users know that that's out, so they might know a way to like bypass
There's
whatever
always
your
some
security
way.
is.
There's always some way, but like as long as you have like SSH keys and like there has to be like so that video it goes through a bunch of different layers of security. So like
Mm.
the first layer is to make sure that your web server is kind of hidden behind a port that's not completely open right away. So like for example, 80 and 443,
Yeah.
those are the ones that are open, which is
Yeah.
fine because they have to be for HTTP and HTTP access. But
That's
then,
actually not true.
so how do you get access to the website if you don't?
You don't have to use port 80. You can use any port, but default is 80. That's why you don't type it in the URL bar.
Yeah, so if you want to type it in, then that's a different story. But like,
Yeah. But hiding it
for-
behind a different port doesn't mean anything because anyone who wants to attack you will just scan all your ports.
no, so what I'm saying is 80 and 443 are open, but then your private port, which is like your internal port, that could be like something else.
Can you give me an example? I don't know what you mean by private port now.
So
I've
when
never
you
heard that term before.
so when you set up your port forwarding on your router,
Hmm.
you know how there's two fields that you type in the same field, like you type in the same port twice.
Is that how you're actually supposed to do it?
Well, like you can do it that way, or you can do it the way I'm about to describe. So there's
Okay.
an external port that you can have that could be different from your internal port, right? So your external port is always most likely going to be 80 or 443. You don't even need 80. You can just automatically default to 443. So everything is going through a secure like channel, the
Yeah.
SSL. So assuming you have only 443, that's your
Yeah.
external port. But your internal port could be like 8443, right? So what that means is on your internal port, nobody knows what that port is because it's not forwarded. Only 443 is forwarded. So it's not
So
open. It's not open to the open world. It's not open to the real world. Only 443 is open. And then once the web server contacts like Nginx or like Apache, and then Apache or Nginx returns, oh, okay, it's going to this domain, coming from this port 443. Actually, go to 8443. But it's not actually open in the outside world. It's only open like in your own internal network.
whoa. So if I understand that correctly, you go to your router setting. You open port 443. So 443 is open, right?
Yeah, on the
So
server that you want. Yeah.
yeah. So you have a laptop set up. I'm assuming you have a dedicated laptop set up at your home. I want to
Yeah.
access your website. It's called thebestclinic.com. Okay. I don't know what it's actually called. I forget. It's orthopedic. I don't know. Sorry. I'm a bad friend. Okay, so you go there. Oh, Calmar Orthopedics. Yeah, sorry.
There it is.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So I access your site, calmar.ca, calmar.com, whatever, right? Then I access port 443 by default because that's the one that's open. It takes me there. But what's happening in the background is that even though I hit the port on your machine, there's a configuration file for Apache or Nginx that says when 443 is hit, instead secretly open port 8443 on the same machine, and port 8443 is the one that actually has the content.
Yeah, exactly.
So then if a nefarious user does access port 443 and does see your content, they can no longer get in. There must be a way to get in. How
There's
does
still
this?
always there's always some way, but what I'm saying is there's multiple like layers. Like the more layers you add, like in the security, the
Yeah,
harder and harder and harder it gets. So then that's the first layer, right? And then the second
yeah,
layer could be like you have your SSL certificate, right? So you have to break through that, and that's being verified by a third party through Let's Encrypt. Okay, so that's another layer, and then another layer is you could have SSH keys in order to get into your server in the first place, like you set up. You can set it up with two-factor authentication. You can have your own generated SSH keys, like you were doing earlier as well. So you can
yeah,
have your SSL certificate in addition to your own SSH keys, in
yeah,
addition to two-factor authentication,
yeah. That
right?
makes it pretty difficult to crack.
Yeah, exactly. And then at what point do these hackers want to be able to get into your site?
But they still do. They still get into like sites run by Google or Facebook, and they
Yeah,
still leak
exactly.
passwords.
They still do it, but like I think when that happens, it's someone from the inside like
It
leaking
has to
information.
be.
Yeah, because there's no other way. Like someone has to have those keys. Someone has to have some insider information to be able to get at that site.
Yeah, like cracking a 6-digit password in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Like you can't dictionary attack that
no, it doesn't make any
because they're just
sense.
random generated numbers. Like it's like
Yeah,
And the numbers can be repeated, so it's literally like 10 to the 6. You can't do that in 30 seconds because you get
Yeah,
timed out after 3 attempts.
exactly. So most of the time, all these hacks, they happen because of phishing scams. You know what those are?
Really, do you think those people at Google still fall for phishing scams?
Well,
Well,
it's
I
not.
guess they can make them
Yeah,
cleverer.
yeah, exactly. And it's not. It's usually not like a software engineer or someone that kind of understands the technology who gets the hack. It's
Yeah,
usually like a product person or like an executive or like someone who doesn't understand like technical stuff. They're
yeah.
the ones that get targeted because they also have access to this stuff,
You know
right?
what's funny?
Yeah,
I was taking this online course from Harvard CS50. It's actually really good if you ever have time to do it and you want to bone up on CS.
yeah.
They actually talk about phishing. And this
Oh,
guy,
nice.
when he was talking about web design, he went to PayPal, went to inspect element, copied all the code for a PayPal site because you obviously it's in your browser. Your browser has to know what the code is in order to render it, right?
Hmm.
Which I never thought about at the time. I was like, oh yeah, of course that has to be. Otherwise, how could I even see it?
Yeah.
So he copies that. He calls it like nefarious PayPal or something. And
Hmm.
he's like, now if you go here, like I can call the link anything I can call it PayPal, but I can make it go to whatever I want. So you think you're clicking on PayPal, but you're actually not. And he's like, what you have to really check is where the URL is actually taking you. But no
Yeah.
one really looks at that. No one really
No.
looks at the bar. So you click it,
Yeah.
it asks you for your information,
And then
and
you
then you
log
put
in,
it
and
in,
then that
and
gives
you're
you your stuff.
done.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's literally a phishing scam,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
There's been so many at my day job, like so many people try to like scam people,
yeah,
and it's usually they're trying to scam people who don't understand the technology, right? Like it's gonna be like executives, like maybe I don't know, like testers, like someone that has access to like the databases or something, but
yeah.
who doesn't understand how it works.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Do you think there should be like a training program for them?
What do you mean a training program?
Like if this has been happening at the executive level, right? Do
Yeah.
you think there should be like
Oh
you
yeah,
remember
for
how in
sure.
university we had like women's training and you
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
pass
yeah.
that
So
before you
we
did
have
like
that. We have that
yeah,
now as well. Yeah, like I think when I was working at GE, like in the first day, there was like the training you have to do, and
yeah,
then that was one of the things. And then what they did was, they actually sent out an email like at the end of it, like it was about like scams and like phishing scams, like in
yeah,
addition to some other privacy stuff. But then in
yeah.
the end, they sent a scam email to you, and they wanted to
That's
see if
so
you clicked
funny.
on it, but like they made it look real. Like it was like
That's so funny.
it was not right away. It was like maybe like a couple hours afterwards. So like you kind of forget about it.
Yeah,
But it was like really well done. Like it was 100% a phishing scam, and like I was able to pick it out like really easily. But
yeah.
I'm 100% sure that people wouldn't be able to, like within even the company.
That's so funny. But it was sent by a trusted person. That's the thing, right? For
No,
in your
no, no,
case,
no. They set up like a fake email address and everything. Like
oh, they set up a fake email address.
they did it the
Okay.
way like a phishing person would be able to do it.
Yeah.
So
That's actually so interesting.
it's a
Do you
good way.
remember what site it tried to take you to?
No, well, like they tried to take you to a site that they controlled anyways,
Yeah.
because like we were like it was the company thing anyways.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the exact site was, but it was like very similar. Like the domain,
Yeah.
it was like I think it said like General Electric, but it switched the letters. I think E and N, like so you couldn't really tell like if you look at the word at the domain.
Oh, you mean like what when you hovered over it, then it would show you
Yeah,
the real domain. Yeah,
it would show
okay.
you the real domain, but it said like General Electric, but General was spelled wrong.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then like there was like a long domain, right? Like it was like General Electric slash something, 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 something. But then
Oh,
the
that's interesting.
general was spelled wrong. It was something like that. It was like pretty well done, I think. So like it
That's
could
actually
like
really
anyone
funny.
could click on it, right? And so
Yeah.
apparently so many people clicked on it because afterwards, they sent out like some stats and they said
Yeah.
this is how many people clicked on it. And like they basically outed like all these execs.
It would be funny if they actually released the names too. Like like you release the passwords,
Oh yeah,
like
that'd
for
be so
this.
bad.
We're like, yeah, we're gonna release the names of the people that actually clicked on this.
That would be terrible.
Oh
So
man.
actually, that's a good point. So you brought up a really interesting topic, I guess, because
Yeah.
Because yeah, you're right. We've been working primarily with like extra computers that we have, or like a Raspberry Pi, or like a virtual machine.
Yeah,
And for the most part, we've been like formatting it again just to like start a new project. And
which I have to say is pretty fun.
yeah, it's fun. But like now, like we've kind
Yeah,
of like you've mastered it for sure. Like I kind of knew what I was doing most of the time on the formatting side,
yeah,
but then it was kind of annoying to kind of let everything go, right? It's
yeah. It was kind of
it's
annoying.
cool to have the site hosted on in your own house and like set up the SSL and all that stuff, because like you
Yeah,
wouldn't think like you could do that
no,
like, and have it like fully functioning. But
yeah.
but maybe we should set up like a Google Cloud account, and then run a VM from there, uh, because
Okay,
yeah, like they have like a free trial. So basically, they give you $300 of credit towards towards using like virtual stuff for
yeah,
12 months. So you could basically have like we could have like a bunch of different virtual machines running like full time, like
yeah.
on the shared tier, um, without us having to pay anything for like 12 months straight.
That's neat. So then, if we ever want to update like anything, if we ever want to visit an old project,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
we don't have
exactly.
to go back and reinstall it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, we could install all of them on the same server, on the same laptop, but sometimes there's problems with Apache and Nginx. There's like some subtleties that I don't understand properly yet.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think a really hot topic right now is something called Kubernetes,
What
which
is that? I've heard about that before. What is that?
yeah, it's basically a cluster of computers or nodes connected all together, and it harnesses like all of their like processing power, um, and network distribution, and like hard disk space,
Hmm.
um, to make it faster for users. So like if you go to a website
Yeah,
and I don't know, if you go to a website and it has a lot of computation involved, like maybe it's a game, an online game, then
yeah.
if you go to the site, you can see it, but it's actually being hosted on multiple different computers, and that's what it is. It's like a cluster of nodes.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
So does it also share like the graphics card as well? Does like each computer's graphics card contribute a little bit to it?
yeah, like everything is shared.
That's so neat. I wonder how they do that.
Yeah. There's also a project I saw at opensource.com
Yeah,
where they teach you how to do it for like a couple Raspberry Pis connected together. Like if you have like a couple Raspberry Pis, you can
yeah,
create a cluster out of them. And then what happens is one is like kind of your main one where it controls everything,
yeah.
but then everything is distributed across the cluster of Raspberry Pis. So like it becomes faster. It becomes like a super Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, I've seen something like that years ago where this guy
Yeah.
had like 50 of them and he connected all of them up.
But did he connect them all up, or did he connect them all together? Like was it like a
Can,
cluster and like it was distributed across every single one?
I'm not sure what this was years ago, so I'm not sure what the correct term is, but I know he connected them in parallel and one was a master node.
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe it was a cluster too.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how, the other way you can connect them. So
Yeah.
this was years ago. Like I saw it, I thought it was so cool. And then I was like, yeah, I don't want to spend that much on 50 Raspberry Pis or even 8 Raspberry Pis.
Yeah, I think I have at least two or three here.
Yeah,
So we could definitely do it. Or we can like use one of the Kubernetes from Google, and they're actually
yeah.
cheaper. They I don't know how like their financial models work, but the Kubernetes are much cheaper to use um, than the like if you want to set up a single VM.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I just don't know how to use it like well, and I don't know. I don't really know much about it, but we can definitely learn about it and maybe do an episode about it.
Yeah, I would be down for that.
Yeah.
They
Um,
probably also connect old machines up too, or I don't know actually. I'm just making assumptions. Could you also connect up old machines? Like say I had two old laptops.
um, I don't know. I feel like in theory you could. I again I don't know much about it. I feel like
Hmm,
we'll have to learn, do some research on it and try to figure it out.
yeah.
And then the other reason, sorry, the main reason was the speed stuff, right? And then the other reason is I don't really have like a modern additional laptop or Raspberry Pi to handle
Mhm.
compute power. So
Yeah,
that was the other reason I wanted to use something like this, um, and um like put my dad's site on there.
yeah. They also do the maintenance and the updates and everything. Like, you don't
No,
want to update it
all that stuff
yourself
we have
and
to do
pay
ourselves
site
too.
maintenance.
No, no, all that stuff we have to do ourselves. If it's a virtual machine, you still have to do it yourself.
No, but if it's on hosted by them, they do all the maintenance, right?
No, 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 you still have to do it. Like they just set up the VM for you. Like they don't do updates. Like you have to set it up yourself.
Oh, really? Oh, I was under the impression that they host it for you, they update it for you, they maintain it for you. Any errors, they deal with it.
No,
They're
that's if
open
you
24 hours for security.
yeah, so they're open 24 hours for security, but like for in terms of maintenance and like all that stuff,
Yeah.
they that has nothing to do with the virtual machine because the virtual machine is something that you set up like yourself, right? Like it's exactly what we did.
Mhm.
Um like on the Raspberry Pi or on your laptop or on my like it's the exact same thing.
Okay, okay.
So
So
like
they don't do the software updates.
no, you have
I
to
guess
go.
they can't because they don't have access to it, right?
I mean, I'm sure they do have access to it, but yeah, they don't do that. Like that's up to you because you
Okay.
you set it at a specific like version, like whatever you're building, you set up the versions based on what you need, right? And
Hmm.
so like it would make no sense for them to go in and like change it because you paid for that version because you installed it. Whereas if you use something like Squarespace or some of the other like website hosting platforms,
Yeah.
they do the maintenance for those because it's just
Okay.
websites.
Okay. I noticed that you have the techycast logo.
Yeah, I just logged into this
Yeah.
on the TechCast one, and I just went to cloud.google.com. So I'm just gonna hit like get started for free.
Okay.
So what happens is they give you I think $300 towards
Does it expire after 1 year? Like, is everything shut down after 1 year?
uh no, but I think you have to enter your credit card details. See, it says right here.
Yeah.
Uh, so sign up and get $300 to spend on Google Cloud Platform over the next 12 months. We ask for your credit card so that you are not a robot.
Don't be charged unless you manually upgrade to a paid account. Okay, I like that. I like how it's not like you have to remember to delete it after 12 months.
Yeah. Um, I don't know what to put in here. Um, I'm
Maybe
gonna,
we can do this offline, like edit this part out.
yeah, I'm just gonna,
Because that's kind of sensitive.
I just stop sharing the screen just so I can put in the address and stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm gonna put in my name just because I'm gonna put in my credit card. Uh, but yeah, like this, you could use this. You could use Amazon, uh, like cloud services. You could use Microsoft Azure. Like all these guys have like some kind of tiered program.
Hmm.
Um, so I literally just used this yesterday.
Yeah.
So um, so I remembered going through this process anyways. So I'm gonna use Google. But we could use the other like we can use Amazon. We could use um, like Microsoft. It would be the exact same thing.
Do they also give you like around $300? Do you know?
Yeah, they all give you around enough to get by 1 year of like having like a couple virtual machines and like kind of testing everything out.
Yeah.
Like you could totally have like a fully functional app like working really well in like basically top compute power cycles and like have it set up with like really good specs uh,
Yeah.
and still be within the $300 a month $300 a year.
Yeah. $300 a month? So ridiculous.
That would be sick. I remember Microsoft actually they used to like when we got out of university they were really pushing for people to start startups.
Yeah.
And so I signed up through their like Axure like BizSpark program,
Yeah.
and I think they gave me like $60,000 in credits.
What?
Yeah, yeah, and they were giving it to like a lot of people.
That's nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So,
wait. So you said $67 in credits. Is that different than dollars?
well, like this is the same thing. This is credits too.
Okay. For some reason when you said credits, I thought they had their own internal cash system or something. I was like, what?
No, so yeah, I just entered the information. Can you see my screen?
Okay. Yeah, I can see your screen now. Yeah.
Yeah, so it says right here, your free trial includes $300 in credits to spend over the next 12 months.
Okay.
So you have to turn on automatic billing if you want to spend more than that, essentially.
Okay.
Like
I
when
think
it
I might
runs,
try this afterwards.
yeah, when it runs out, it'll just like stop at that point,
Yeah.
unless if you turn on the automatic billing, at which point it'll start charging you.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the interface. So it looks a little, I guess it looks a little confusing, but
It looks a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
yeah, it looks. I thought it looked overwhelming when I when I first tried it too.
Yeah.
But I just went to the marketplace and kind of was able to see some recognizable things. So like
Yeah.
these are like setting up your virtual machine like in a couple clicks. So like depending on what you want, you could do like one click thing. So like for example here, like
Yeah.
click to deploy like virtual machine.
Yeah.
um, what it does is it has like, so everything that we did, we started with either like Raspbian on the Raspberry Pi or Ubuntu, right?
Yeah.
And then we started installing like Apache or like Rocket Server, or sorry, Rocket Chat, or like Nginx, or like whatever it was. We started
Yeah.
doing that sequentially. So
Lamp, and lemon.
yeah, yeah, that was like the basis, right? But
Yeah, those
for
bases.
this, for these, the advantage with the virtual machines are that they have them built out already, and so
Mhm.
like I could just um, I could select.
You can select your own build and they do it for
Yeah,
you. You just
exactly.
click
So
whatever you want.
exactly. So I could search WordPress and it'll do the build for me based on what I want. So
Oh, that's
do I,
neat.
do I want WordPress on CentOS, or do I want it on Ubuntu 16.04, or do I want it on something else, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I could select like any one of these. I don't know. I'll
I don't
select.
even know which one I would select. There's so many of them.
Yeah. So, like, see how this one is?
Oh, with Nginx and SSL certified, and it tells you by who like certified
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So I can just click on this one,
Yeah.
and then it tells me like, okay, estimated cost is this much per month. This is what it's going to give me, package contents, right? So it's going to install all of this stuff.
Oh, I find it. Yeah, they use Nginx. Was there one for Apache? I didn't see one for Apache.
I think the base one is Apache, but I don't know where it went.
Oh, yeah, I guess when you click it, it tells you when it. But this one was more explicit.
Yeah. Here, this one. This is the one I did, I think, yesterday.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is
This
Apache.
is Apache. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like your standard one. And this is what it gives you. So click to deploy, and then the VM instance. So it's going to be a shared virtual CPU.
Hmm.
It's going to be 1.7 gigs of RAM,
Yeah.
and it's going to be 10 gigabytes hard drive.
And it's still the same amount per month, actually.
What do you mean? Oh, that's the
It's
other one.
still 1361 a month.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think the virtual machines, that's kind of the range. But like for example, if I click on launch,
Yeah.
um, then it will,
You have to enable billing.
yeah, like just before you start this thing. But like this is to start the $300.
Oh, that's to start $300. Okay.
That's not automatic billing.
Yeah, I was. That's how they get you.
So,
Just kidding.
and then the other advantage to using like something like this,
Yeah.
especially Google, is because a lot of like the web APIs that exist today in the world, like Google Maps API, or like Google Calendar API, or Gmail API, like they're all kind of embedded within the Google Cloud Platform anyways. So if you're
Yeah.
creating an app that takes advantage of the Google API,
Yeah.
um, like if you're showing like a map on your screen or like whatever you're using,
Yeah.
it makes it really easy to integrate through here.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think they also had a section just for their APIs.
Yeah, exactly.
Neat. So
Um,
if I do WordPress through here, right?
yeah.
Does that mean I can still use my free domain that I registered?
Yeah, totally. So what they'll give you is an external IP address, like similar to what we have, right? Like we have our own public IP address at
Yeah,
home, and that's what we were using, right? So it's the
yeah.
exact same thing. They have the exact same thing.
Okay, that's excellent. So I don't have to use their .wordpress.73311222225.com website.
But they don't give you that. They give you just an IP address.
Yeah, but when I wanted to map it to my no IP address,
Hmm.
it was a fee.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a fee to map it on WordPress.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't free to map it. So here I'd be able to map it with no issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna do this after we get off this. Because when
Um,
I showed my friends the new URL, they're like, "Oh, what the hell is this?"
well, you could have used the techycasts one, like a subdomain there.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not gonna be. They're not gonna write technical blogs, so it'll
Yeah,
be kind of completely off topic. And
that's
plus, they also wanted to just play around with it too, because they've never used WordPress.
true. Mhm.
So then it would be weird if they just kept changing like every day, or you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I don't know what happened with that. I'm gonna search WordPress again. So, like, we can just create a WordPress site really quickly.
Yeah, it said it takes a while to implement because they're downloading everything at once, right?
I feel like it shouldn't take too long. What is this? So this is something else. This is a container. So this is a Kubernetes app.
Okay.
So this is actually taking advantage of Kubernetes. So let's see if I hit configure. That's to enable the Kubernetes engine API.
Take a minute or more.
Um,
Okay.
so the way it works is you have to create a cluster first, and that's kind of where the costs are associated. But then once you create that cluster, you can add like so many applications on that cluster. Because think of it as like more than one computer, right? Like
Yeah.
on one computer, you could do this easily. You can probably have a couple WordPress sites. But then on a
Mm,
cluster, you could have a couple WordPress sites. You could have your own application. You could run a mobile app. You can run like a web app. You can run a couple APIs. Like a bunch of stuff. So
that's cool.
I think that's why they're able to make it a little bit cheaper. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like we should do this, but because I don't know like how to do it, maybe we should wait. What do you think?
I think we should probably wait because in our experience,
We
when
always
we don't wait and we rush into things, it becomes disastrous.
That's true. I'm just looking for.
Where was the one that you actually installed before? I remember
Yeah,
you clicked it and it said
yeah,
waiting for something.
I don't know. I'm just gonna go back to the marketplace and search it. Yeah, the UX on the dashboard page for um, Google Cloud is not good.
Yeah, it seems really overwhelming, but I guess you get used to it, right?
I guess so. Like I honestly I don't use any of the other stuff there because mostly because I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
Um, here we go. Okay, so let's launch this. So we're gonna set up just a simple WordPress site on Google Cloud.
Okay.
Um, and then so see how it's 1622 per month estimated.
Yeah.
Um, what I did the first time was I just selected the smallest one. So it defaults to small, but
Yeah.
the cheapest one is this micro shared. So it's going to use like zero 0.6 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
But then see how the price got reduced like much more drastically.
Yeah, it's super cheap now.
Yeah. So
It's 7/10 of a cent. That's the hourly rate.
yeah,
It's so
that
cheap.
seem that seem weird. What
Yeah.
should we call it? Do you think we yeah, what should we call it?
I have no. I don't know. I'm terrible at coming up with names.
I'll just say techycasts WP for WordPress. And then so the zone, so what it does is it creates the server based on a zone.
Hmm.
And it's usually like based on a zone that's closest to you at the time. So
Oh,
because I'm
it.
in Canada West right now, yeah, it'll select Canada West by default.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
Um, and then I'll just use techycast. You know. 10 gigs is fine. So then the other thing is that you want to allow both HTTP and HTTPS.
And it configures the SSL certificates for you.
No, this is just going to give you an HTTP site. It's just going to give you like what we had at the end of installing everything minus the
Okay.
SSL. Yeah.
So you have to set the SSL yourself.
You have to set up the SSL yourself. You have to set up the domain yourself because the SSL, they don't know what it the SSL, they don't know what it is because like they don't know what your domain name is going to be.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I'm going to hit
Firewall. Are you adding firewall rules or no?
yeah, I just added the HTTP and HTTPS firewall rules. So that's the 80 and 443. It works the same
Okay.
way. You have to open ports and everything.
Okay.
So it's being deployed. Um, once this is done, it'll give me an IP address.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's basically done there. What I'm gonna do is, um, I was gonna go to Hurricane Electric and
Yeah.
set up a DNS for
Okay.
WordPress stuff, something. It's almost done the thing, but yeah, like we could probably set up the blog that we were trying to set up using Ghost, the Ghost blogging service, or the Ghost
Oh, I remember that.
on on this instead because for some reason I wasn't able to get it working on my Raspberry Pi.
Do you remember what the errors were?
Yeah, I think they had to do with like MySQL because anytime I tried to connect to the database, it gave me like an error on the port.
An
And like
error
I
on the
tried
port?
yeah, I tried local and I tried like hosting it on the separate website and
Yeah.
neither one was working. So
Oh, that's weird.
I couldn't get it to work at all. I don't know why. It was really annoying actually.
Yeah, that's frustrating. How do you know it was a MySQL error then?
I guess I don't.
If it was giving you a SQL error, like when you were setting up the DB, I would say try a different database, like MariaDB or something.
Yeah, it was MariaDB because it was on the Raspberry Pi.
Oh, Pi uses MariaDB instead of MySQL?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay. So I think it's done now. I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Deployments. So this is kind of what you end up with. You see this?
Okay. Yeah, I see this.
So I'm gonna go in here and it should give me an external IP address. Here. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be where the site is located.
So if I visit that, I should be able to see it.
Yeah, if you visit this, you'd be able to see it.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm gonna change like all these things because these are like your default ones that they give you.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff needs to get changed.
Mm.
But this is the IP address. So now that we know the IP address,
Yeah.
we can plug that into Hurricane Electric
Yeah.
and maybe send it to create a new one for WordPress. Right?
Yeah. I hate how it does that.
Yeah. It's free, so sure they didn't hire like a UX designer or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna be the server for that. So this is where the site is right now.
Nice.
So it's already up and running, which is cool. And they gave me a username and password to use, the temporary one. So I'm just gonna log in with it. So the username is techycasts and password.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in. So
Cool.
yeah, we have the site running. Like, I mean, we didn't have to write any code yet, right? Because we just selected WordPress and it had everything built into it. So it's like your standalone WordPress site, like based
Yeah.
on the Google Compute Engine. So like they created this themselves, but it's still like a standard WordPress site.
That is really cool, actually.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna change the password on this to like our normal password.
Yeah, and it's definitely a lot more convenient to host it on Google Cloud Services than in your own house.
Yeah. Wait, it's more convenient?
I think so.
Why?
Well, if I host it on my own house, then I have to keep my laptop up and running 24/7. Well, I guess I don't have to, but like it's better so that it always hits traffic. So if
Yeah,
someone visits it when my laptop is down, then it's just annoying.
yeah, that's true.
And I don't always want to leave it running.
Hmm.
So in that sense, it is kind of annoying. And this
Yeah.
way, they take care of literally everything.
Well,
Well,
they
not
don't
literally
take,
everything. They didn't take care of the SSL certificates, but
yeah. They
um,
just take care of like the code and the fact that you
yeah,
don't have to host it at your own house. But then like you were saying, like the maintenance and stuff is still all on you. Like I'm here right now and it
yeah.
installed not even the latest version of WordPress. Like I have to update it myself.
Mm, yeah,
So it's still like the exact same stuff like that you would do to maintain your site anyways.
yeah.
But then with the advantage of not having it in your own house and that type of thing.
And also the advantage of like your public IP not being exposed.
I mean, yeah, like I was looking into this more, and your public IP is exposed, but like, is that really that bad? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Like I know when I visit a website, they obviously have to know my public IP because they're sending me information. So like it's not hidden.
Yeah,
But usually I connect to the internet, not the other way around. So if a nefarious user knew my public IP, right? Because it's the site that knows. If the site knows, that's okay. But if a nefarious user knew, I'm not sure what they could do. They could probably send me
but like
like a
anyone can learn your public IP address. Anyone can learn anyone's public IP address, right? Because if you go to a website, it's being hosted on some IP address, so you could just ping it and then get the IP address.
but when you ping it right, you don't actually know who's
Yeah, you
what
don't.
user belongs to which IP address, right?
Yeah, that's true. But you can also port scan on that IP address then, and then see what's happening. Like that's kind of generic, I find.
Yeah. Like I was looking at this stuff on Stack Overflow.
Mm-hmm.
So
To say
this were you doing the same thing?
no. I'm asking, like, what did it say?
Oh yeah. So this guy was like he was on some forum
Mm-hmm.
and one guy said that he's gonna hack him now because I guess he pissed him off on a forum. I have no idea what happened. Anyways, so he's like, what can someone do if they know my public IP address? Like, is this an issue? Do I need to worry?
Right.
And then they're like, chances are like there's not much he can do,
Mm-hmm.
but um, you might want to set up some extra security measures.
Yeah.
And I think the worst he could realistically do is try to do a denial of service attack. So keep pinging him.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So there you go. Like it's kind of the same thing, right? Like if you keep pinging him, fine. Like their entire network might go down.
Yeah,
So if you have other
which is
sites,
annoying.
yeah, it
But
could be super annoying, but I don't know. I feel
yeah,
like why would anyone want to do that? Like unless if you like you're running something like maybe you're running like a crypto mining rig or I don't know.
yeah,
I feel like it's not really the denial of service attack is like whatever. So
I mean, technically, he could do it indefinitely, no?
I mean, I think it costs a lot to do a denial of service attack. I think a lot of like states have access to that, like company, like not companies, countries, like because it costs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right.
Um,
I guess you could call your ISP and ask them to give you a different public IP.
yeah, that too. And most of the time, when you have residential internet service, they don't give you a static IP address. They give you
Yeah, that's more expensive.
Yeah, they give you a dynamic IP address, and then that's why you use something like dynamic DNS, so that it automatically updates the DNS host name to match your IP address when it changes. And so that's kind of better for residential's housing, because then you're not always on a single IP address.
Yeah.
And so if people want to hack you, they can't always do it on the same IP address.
Yeah.
So I'm just in the WordPress like general settings, and I'm going to
Mhm.
change the IP address to the domain name that we set up.
Does it have to be prepended by WordPress?
I just put WordPress in when I
Oh,
set
you
up.
did. Right. Sorry.
So I'll save that, and it looks like it's working. See that?
All right. It does work. I went to the website.
Yeah, nice. So if I go to wordpress.techycasts.com, then
Yeah.
it'll take me to the site. But of course, it's not secure.
No.
Um,
We're gonna set up SSL.
yeah, I think we should. So
Okay.
I was actually following a nice tutorial on this. Let me see if I can find it. The tutorial had like the automatic kind of renewal and the SSL certificate.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. Google Cloud. SSL. I'm just doing a Google search just to find it. Yeah, okay, found it.
Nice.
So let me share the screen again. It's just a Medium article. And yeah, they talk about getting the $300 to try Google Cloud in here.
Yeah.
So we did most of this stuff already. And we did the domain's IP. We configured the IP address. We changed the IP address to the actual domain in the settings already. And so, yeah, so now we want to redirect all the traffic to SSL. So what we're going to need to do is we actually need to log in to the server that has WordPress through SSH. So this will probably be the first time and really the only time we need to access SSH on this. And Google does like a cool job of Google does a cool job of setting up like SSH within the browser.
Yeah.
So if I share my screen here again, so this is our WordPress like VM, right? I can just click on SSH and it'll just open a new tab with the SSH like within the browser.
Oh, that's neat.
And it's transferring all the keys and everything. Like so this part is cool too, because it generates the keys automatically, so you don't have to do it manually.
That's sick. I like that.
But then at the same time, if you wanted to access your own VM from like your own computer terminal, then you have to do like extra work. Like you wouldn't be able to access it right away. You'd have to download the keys and then like do some stuff.
Oh, I see. This is still neat though.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm in like as this user in SSH.
That's so cool.
I'm gonna go sudo apt install git.
I'm surprised you need Git for this.
Yeah, I think you need it for certbot. And then I'm gonna clone the certbot project.
Oh, that's why. It needs to do a git clone. Couldn't you just run certbot? I guess
Yeah,
this is a bit different.
I think you can. I don't know. We need to do a better job of including all the links we use within the descriptions.
Yes, we do. But we're a bit new to this, so we'll learn as we go. Not that that's a good enough excuse.
Yeah, I guess because we don't get, I don't know, we haven't really marketed the videos or anything, but we don't get very many views, and so
No.
we're not getting comments, right? So I think through the comments is how we would collect the feedback.
Yeah.
And once we have that, then we'll be able to change or like add stuff based on what users want. So
Yeah.
I just I cloned the project, I went into it, and I'm gonna run this certbot auto command.
Okay.
Kind of gonna run everything. Yes. As that is going, let's see what else is here. Yeah. So once that's done, I just need to restart Apache, and that should be it. I just need to say which domain it should ask me.
Oh, it looks like they're using OpenSSL.
OpenSSL. Yeah, I mean, I think Let's Encrypt does use OpenSSL too.
Oh, so it's basically like I guess it's like a wrapper for OpenSSL.
Yeah, like it's just a script actually. So it's on the official like certbot site or on their
Yeah.
official certbot repository, and
Yeah.
the script is running through their services, and I think it's just checking on this virtual machine what it needs. So I think like I discovered this yesterday, but I think we can use this on anything. Like we don't need to use it for WordPress specifically. We
Yeah.
can run this exact same script on like your own like computer or any device.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just enter the password. You can still see the what I'm typing in the
Yeah, I can see
terminal, right?
everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Agree. Nah. So this is where you type in the domain, and if there's multiple, you just create spaces. So in our case, we just have one. So WordPress dot techycast.
What about a triple W one? Do you want to do a triple W one?
Then I would just need
Oh,
to
you need to
add.
configure the DNS name for that, right? Yeah. No.
Yeah, I would need to add it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't need I didn't add it on Hurricane Electric, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
use this one. So just hit enter, and then now it's gonna do that challenge stuff, the normal like kind of let's encrypt process, and that's it.
Done.
So
let me check this out now.
no,
We
I
have to
have
restart Apache first.
Yeah. So and then I'll have to restart Apache, and then I just have to change the domain within.
Actually, you don't. It's already working.
It's working. Okay, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. If you go HTTPS, it's what's working.
So there's one more thing that kind of automates everything as well. So just going back to the same tutorial.
There's a renew command.
Yeah, there's a renew command, and this is really cool. I didn't know that we could do this. So what we want to do is cd into the certbot the certbot.
You already are.
And there's another directory in certbot.
Oh.
And in here there's here. Oops. LSCD certbot. If you've downloaded. Okay,
There's
yeah.
another certbot directory?
Yeah, so there's this command that I'm gonna run. It's
Yeah.
gonna get this certbot auto
Okay.
script, and it's gonna put that in the certbot directory.
Okay.
So if I enter that line in here,
Sudo?
Cannot write to certbot auto. Wait, did I do something wrong?
Permission denied. I don't think you have the right credentials.
No. Oops. I think it should be there. You see it there?
What am I looking for? Yeah, there's another certbot.
See certbot auto anywhere?
No.
Oh, here it's here.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay. I think it came with it. I don't think I needed to download this because it was already in the first directory. I think it was
Okay.
part of the original. So yeah, we don't need to do this line. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that certbot auto command into let's encrypt.
Okay.
So if I move certbot auto to the let's encrypt directory.
Yeah.
And then we're going to edit our cron tab file, which is essentially the Linux kind of start file. So like, one second, I'll show you.
Okay.
So what this file is it's a way for Linux to control any commands that you want to run. But not only that, like on startup, but you can also base them on time. So it's asking me just which editor to use. I'm going to use Nano. And so yeah, this is a file. So it's really cool because you can, like, for example, it says you can run a backup of your user accounts at 5 a.m.
That's sick.
every week with this command. So this is
That's
what it
sick.
means. Yeah, so this 0 and 5, like it all belongs to like some kind of structure. So like it's obviously with time, like this is like, I think 0, the first 2 digits are like the hour. The second 2 are like if there's nothing, you probably have 0 or you have these stars. I don't know exactly what each one is, but like this is the whole point of it. So what they've given us is in this tutorial. In this tutorial, they gave us a command that essentially runs the let's encrypt recreation process every 45 days. Every 90 days, which is when it expires, because this let's encrypt is free, but it expires every 90 days. But with this command, it never expires, right? Because every 90 days, it's automatically going into the let's encrypt. It's running certbot auto renew, and it's restarting Apache.
This is actually so cool. So you might laugh at this, but my dad actually wanted to back up all his files.
Yeah.
Like he wanted some program to do that, right? And I was like, okay, this is what you do. Just take all the files you want, make a copy of them, put it into one single folder, and then copy that folder to the external. He's like, no, I want to leave it on automatically. I was like, oh, okay, but do you really want every single file? He's like, yes. And he wanted it to be backed up like almost like every hour, which I don't understand why. It's not like he had these like really important files anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool just to know it can do it even.
Yeah, it is cool to know that.
Whether it's useful or not, like, is not always useful. But in this case, obviously, this is extremely useful, right? Because who's gonna go into the SSL server and like every night, like within 90 days, like set up the certificate to renew?
Yeah, it's annoying.
So so this way, yeah, it does it all for you. So I'm gonna exit that and just save it. And yeah, that's it.
That is cool. That is excellent. Like the website works.
Yeah.
It's secured.
I'm gonna share the website link again, and I'm gonna just go to the WP admin.
Yeah.
There's just one thing we didn't do.
I think you changed the password, right?
Yeah, change password. Sorry, I forgot. In the settings general area, we just have to change the domain to HTTPS by default.
Oh, this enforces the redirect, right?
I mean, I think the redirect is already created based on what we did using that that script from certbot, but
That does.
but then now WordPress knows to always use HTTPS.
I guess it's a small optimization.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you need to do this, but
I think it removes like a 301 or a 302.
yeah, and that's it. So yeah, we have the certificate here on the site, and yeah, the site's working. So
This is
the
really
other
cool,
thing you'll probably
actually.
notice, is the site is probably going to be much, much faster than what we were running on the Raspberry Pi. So like
Yeah,
if you were
probably.
running like your own like online store,
Yeah,
then something like this would probably be better, especially if you're like handling people's money.
yes.
You don't want to have like a bad experience for them, like if like things start getting slow, or like if your internet at home goes down, like
Mm.
uh,
Yeah,
something
that
you
could be
want.
really, really problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
And the first year is free, and even afterwards, we saw how much it was per month. It's not much.
Yeah, $5 a month is not much, but I think if we are able to learn about the Kubernetes, uh, it'll be a lot more like economical for people that don't want to even spend the $5 a month.
Do you think that's the new like era of computing, just like full clusters?
Yeah, I think so. Like we were doing it at my old job, like in
Yeah,
Toronto, when when I finished university, I was working at this like agency, like this digital agency, and
yeah,
they had started talking to me about it. I was basically just introduced to like the whole idea of distributed networks and distributed computing,
yeah,
and I was like so interested in it because it's basically like exponentially making computation faster and like better in every single way. It's literally quantum computing, right?
I don't
Because
think it's literally quantum computing. That's a
but isn't it
completely
because
different
you could
thing.
have like I don't think there's a limit to how many nodes you can connect to the cluster. Like it's limited by
Um,
maybe how many Google offers you, but like that'll increase with time because it gets cheaper. Hardware is getting cheaper, like processing
yeah,
power,
it is getting cheaper.
and so they're able to give you that like at a cheaper rate. And so it's just getting more and more like it's just getting exponentially greater.
Yeah,
So what's the
yeah,
difference
it's
between
nuts.
that and quantum computing?
Okay, I'm not an expert at quantum computing, but from what I do know,
Okay, listen, we're not an expert at any of this shit. I think most people should know that. Like we're trying to figure stuff out the way they probably
yeah,
would, but we maybe we know a little bit more than nothing. So yeah,
yeah,
go on.
and maybe what I'm gonna say is wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's right. So, so for a regular computer, let's say you have 1 bit of information, right? It can
Yeah,
be represented in one of two ways. You either have a 0 or a 1, right?
yeah.
With quantum computers, you don't have a bit, you have a qubit,
Mm.
right? It can also be represented by two states, but the two states happen at the same time. So it's in a 0 and a 1 at the same time until you actually observe it, which is the weird thing. So until you actually observe it, it's in both states at the same time.
That
So
seems like a
1 bit of
philosophical.
information represents kind of 2 bits.
That seems like a philosophical like outlook on quantum computing.
I think that's the basis of quantum, though. There's the superposition principle. Like, have you heard of the thought experiment of Schrodinger's cat?
Yeah. it's it's because of stupid Big Bang Theory that I remember that now. But it's good. It's good that they taught me that. So yeah, it's the same thing. Like it's basically what you just described. It's like the whole cat versus cat being alive versus not in the
Yeah,
box, right? Yeah.
yeah. So Einstein proposed that experiment, but from what I remember,
Hmm.
he used that to point out how ridiculous the superposition principle is. Like he wasn't for quantum. Like he had arguments with like was it Niels Bohr, and he's like, this doesn't make any sense. This is ridiculous. How could a cat be both dead and alive at the same time? This is the ridiculous experiment. But he actually correctly explains the superposition principle. Until you observe something, it's in all the states at the same time. So that's supposed to be the whole purpose of a qubit. So it's like if you have like 8 qubits, like it represents all the possible configurations of 8 bits at the same time until you do the calculation. And once you do the calculation, then it's gone.
Hmm.
Like this might be a really bad explanation of it, but I find the subject so confusing. I tried learning about it once. It is so confusing. I didn't understand it.
It sounds like you know more about it than most people.
Uh, Maybe. I don't think most people will just like look up quantum computing or like get into what a qubit is versus a bit. Like I know that like so if you asked a computer what it did, like if you were able to have a conversation with a computer and you asked it what it did, it would tell you because it has the instructions, right?
Yeah.
For a quantum computer, I know if you ask it what it did, it'll say, I don't know. It'll say, here's the result of what you asked me for, but I don't know how I got it.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
This is all I remember from it, and I know it makes computations faster because again, like you're in a superposition of states. So I don't know how you get to the state you want, though. I don't know how you're supposed to observe the state that you want. That's the thing I don't fully understand. But I know people have been working on it, and there are some companies. I think there's one in Vancouver that claim that they have a quantum computer. But I remember reading some articles about some professors who had mixed feelings about it. They're like, um, they say it's a quantum computer, but it doesn't do what a theoretical quantum computer is supposed to do. So it's probably not a quantum computer.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
this was years ago though. This was
That seems
like,
like more of like a technicality.
sorry, can you say it again?
I said that seems more like a technicality.
I mean, it's possible that they thought they were building one, but they weren't, or I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just pulled something up, but like the there's been a lot of I guess articles or just news around quantum computing recently.
Yeah,
I guess before coronavirus, because I know Elon Musk was doing some research in the topic because he wanted to like do it for like the space stuff.
yeah,
But then also Google's doing a bunch of stuff and IBM's doing a bunch of stuff.
yeah,
So here, yeah, like Google and IBM's transmon qubits are almost identical with one small and potentially crucial difference. Uh, the qubits themselves are controlled by microwave pulses, tiny fabrication defects. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what any of this stuff means. I just know that these big companies are doing it, and
yeah.
I can only imagine like Kubernetes is enhancing that progress for Google.
Yeah, but Kubernetes is for like Kubernetes is for clusters though. Like, what about personal computers? Like, what's the next wave of personal computers? Like, you can't sell a Kubernetes, can you?
Like, why not? Like, it's the what I described with the Raspberry Pis connected together in a cluster is technically the same thing.
Yeah, but laptops are like usually really small. Like this MacBook Air is like really small. Like,
Yeah.
how are
So
you gonna get more
yeah,
computing power?
yeah. So that's what they're doing. That's what Google's doing, right? With what's it called? Stadia. With Google Stadia.
Oh yeah, they do have Stadia. That's
Um,
sick. Have you tried it?
I haven't tried it. Did you try it?
Yeah, my friend has it. It's pretty sick.
It's good.
Yeah,
I was thinking of
like
getting it's actually free right now. You just have
yeah,
to
it's free
pay
right
for the
now.
hardware. But I think this is describing what you're talking about, right? Where there's no real hardware, but it's still doing computations across a distributed network, right? Because all these
Yeah,
games are just traveling through like the network, but at the same time, it still needs to process like what you press on the controller and send that
mhm.
back to the Google servers and then bring it back. But when
It is
it's
really fast.
yeah, when it sends it to the Google servers, it's also doing a lot of computation.
Yeah,
So, so I think this is an example of what you're describing, where you basically have it in your home in the form of a laptop, right? Like you have your laptop, but all it's really doing is serving up a video from the internet of you playing.
yeah. I think that could be the next wave. Like the computers don't have to be more powerful, but you get the power through the internet connection while you're connected to these like clusters.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I think if that actually happened, um, laptop prices would actually skyrocket downwards.
Yeah, and that's what they kind of are. Like I was looking, so I have a Chromebook, right? It's really old. like the Google Chrome S. But it's still so good. Like it it has like 16 gigs of hard drive space. It has, I think, 2 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
And like the video card is really shitty, but it runs flawlessly YouTube 1080p videos. Uh,
Yeah.
Actually, I should try a 4K video on it. And like if I'm running like Google Docs, Google Sheets, and like a bunch of different tabs, like there's zero lag. It's like perfect.
That's sick.
Whereas my Mac, which has a dedicated video card, and is like over $2,000 machine, like
Yeah.
sometimes the fan just like goes off the hook just by running Google Chrome. Like if I have a
Yeah.
couple videos running and if I'm doing like I don't know like a Google Doc, like basically running the exact same tabs I would have on my Mac, it would
Yeah.
be like the fans would be like spinning like crazy.
Would you ever buy another one?
Yeah, I really want to buy a new one because
Another MacBook?
no, another Chromebook. So
Oh, Chromebook. Okay.
the reason is because apparently on the new ones
Yeah.
they enable Linux. So you can install any Linux Debian app on your Chromebook,
Yeah.
and you also have access to like a real terminal.
Wait. So what comes on the Chromebook now? Is it it's not Linux? I thought it was.
No, it's a Chrome OS. It's a Linux distribution, but
Yeah.
but the old one that I have, it's not compatible with the Linux apps. So you can't install Linux apps on mine. Because mine is like
Oh,
from
that's
like
frustrating.
2011 or something. It's like really old.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first generation ones. And even
Oh,
then,
it's still running?
it's running perfectly. The battery is amazing. It
That's
lasts
sick.
10 hours still. And when I bought it, I think it was $299. And this was
You
like
got so much value out of that.
yeah, I did, and I got even more value out of it because Fine was using it for school
Yeah.
when she
Yeah.
didn't have a computer, and she found it like amazing too because most of her work was all like in Google Docs and stuff,
Yeah.
and the battery like never died. Like it would last like 11, 12 hours if she's only doing word processing, not watching videos or anything.
And the battery still lasts that long?
The battery still lasts maybe like 8 or 9 to 10 hours depending on what you're doing, but it's still like
After
really really good.
9 years, that's actually amazing.
Yeah. And it was only $299.
That's so cheap.
So and like today, like Chromebooks are pretty cheap. Like um like as long as you don't go with like the Google release one, I think like the Pixel book, because they mark it up.
Yeah.
Like if you go with
Yeah.
like the other ones, like Dell makes a couple still, Acer makes some, Asus makes some. If you go with any of those companies, it's also much cheaper.
I think Google just wanted to show like I don't think they expected to have crazy high sales on the Pixel book. I think
No.
they wanted to show like this is how far you can actually push this type of software, or this is how far you can push a Chromebook.
Yeah, I agree. But not only
Which
that, but they've
is cool
optimized
still.
it so well.
Yeah, and it looks so nice actually.
Yeah, like a lot of them look really nice. So this is the one I really wanted to get, the Asus Chromebook Flip,
Yeah.
because I like that uh, the edges are like pretty flush. I just thought it looked better, and like it does
Yeah.
the full flip around, so it kind of becomes a
The flip
tablet.
around. That's the full flip around.
It has the full flip around. But this is the one I have. Oh no, not this one. I have the Dell 11-inch Chromebook.
Is it also detachable?
The one I have doesn't flip around. It just
No, I mean this one, the Asus one. Is it also detachable?
that I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yeah, having tablets into laptops is like the new thing now.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you can detach this, but it's still cool that it can flip.
It looks detachable actually. No, I don't think it is. Yeah, I mean it looks cool. Like it's pretty fast and like the battery's good, but this one's also pretty expensive. Like $699 to me is an expensive laptop. Like if it's not a Mac. Because Macs are way too expensive.
Yeah, I like to think of laptops in terms of how many hours will I get out of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So if I buy a laptop, let's say I buy a laptop for like, let's say $2,000, right? I need to maximize the amount of hours I get out of it.
Yeah.
So if I get at least 2,000 hours out of it, then I pay $1 per hour for its use.
Yeah. That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah. So that's why I try to make my laptops last as long as possible. And even when they're past their prime, I still try to do something with them. Even the super old ones that I can't even sell Linux on, I take out their hard drives and I use that as my
Wait,
external hard drive.
you can't even install Linux on your old laptops?
No, so I still tried this old Toshiba one. It was really big and clunky, and things were just failing. And Linux was just really slow. Even the light version of Linux, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use the hard drive
Yeah.
for backup space. Or it's just too clunky to carry around. Remember how the old school laptops were really, really big?
Yeah. I
It's
remember that.
20 pounds. You could just you're weight training every time you pick it up, right?
Yep.
So
And it was like the square monitors.
yeah. So I would just take it out the hard drive and use that. So I always try to find some use out of it, so I maximize it.
Oh, man. Well,
This
I
was a
think
good
it's
episode,
a good
actually.
episode. I feel like I don't need to edit this one at all. This is amazing.
Yeah. Maybe just that one part where you had your sensitive information up. Oh no, you actually switched screens.
Yeah, I switched screens, but I think I had the SQL passwords for WordPress, but I'm going to take down the site anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think this is a good one because now people can actually not set up their own VM, not have to have an extra laptop lying around,
Yeah.
but they can just use Google Cloud Services and just click what they want. And if they want to set up SSL, they can.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you think of this on the fly? Did you think of this on the fly? You thought of this on the fly, right?
I thought completely on the fly, and the only reason is because I literally went through the exact same steps yesterday.
Oh, you did?
My dad's thing, yeah.
Wait, so if you didn't bring this up, what did you think we were going to do today?
Oh, I thought we were gonna finish the what was the thing we didn't finish yet? So we did the
We
Rocket
finished
Chat.
Nextcloud because we installed the Office on it.
We finished Nextcloud, and then Rocket Chat was okay because I posted that one already.
Yeah.
But there was something in between.
Oh, was it Ghost?
Oh yeah, Ghost. No, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what
Because I think we were gonna do Ghost on my Ubuntu
on your
machine.
Ubuntu, but I think we should maybe just do it on the cloud.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a Kubernetes cluster and then have that as one of the nodes.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't really need too much there. You just need Node.js.
Lemon.
And we can set that up. Yeah, Lemon.
So Node.js is a substitute for PHP? It can't be, right?
Yeah, it is. Node.js is it's a backend framework.
Damn, I didn't know that. But JavaScript itself just adds functionality to the browser, right?
It's just written in JavaScript, but it's actually a full backend server with API and everything. Node.js is what every single new application has been using for the past almost 10 years now.
But Node.js is built on JS, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so
the
it's basically
syntax,
a library for JS.
Yeah, the syntax is JavaScript.
That's interesting. Yeah, because when I was learning about JavaScript, I was like, yo, this is so cool. I didn't know browsers did this. I didn't know browsers actually built the DOM of the website, and JavaScript just manipulates the shit out of it.
Yeah,
it just goes in and it says, okay, go to this object of the DOM. Okay, now insert code here and run this with it.
Yeah.
What? That's so sick.
The crazy thing about JavaScript is that it basically created what we know as user experience today. With respect to technological user experience, if you're using a website,
Yeah.
JavaScript drastically changed that entire concept for people, because without JavaScript you can't really get instant kind of feedback from your browser or from your phone or anything, right? Because that is what enables it. Just what you said, it manipulates the DOM on the fly.
Yeah, that's so sick.
So but yeah,
that and CSS are super powerful. Without CSS, I think people would not want to use the website. I mean, when I want to use the web, I look at this like dog shit websites. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to use this.
But there's a lot of sites out there with like really shitty CSS as well. So it makes it look like bad, but
Yeah, it does. That's funny.
like Hurricane Electric.
Yeah, it looks terrible. It
Yeah,
looks
but
like it's from the 70s or something.
somehow I like it more.
Yeah,
It
it's really
reminds
simple.
Yeah, it reminds me of like super old websites.
Yeah. Do you remember the ones with the it used to have like this like I think it was when JavaScript maybe first came out and everyone was doing the marquee, like the blinking marquee.
Yeah. I remember that.
That stuff was so annoying. I think you can actually do that just with CSS.
Yeah, you can. You can do like anything with CSS now.
Yeah.
Because there's different versions of CSS as well, and like now, like with JavaScript, you can also like actively manipulate CSS itself. So
Yeah, you
it's
can.
like basically like limitless possibilities.
You can also alter HTML with JavaScript.
Yeah, you can alter anything with
Yeah.
JavaScript.
Can you make a website purely in JavaScript with
Yeah,
no HTML?
yeah, you can.
Can you do that? You can?
Like you have to use HTML syntax, but like it would be in the JavaScript file.
Yeah, so I just have a JavaScript file is what I mean.
Yeah,
And like I don't have an
you,
HTML file.
yeah, you can do that.
And I don't have a CSS file. Everything's just in JavaScript.
So I think you still need an HTML file to reference the JavaScript file, but that would be the only thing you would have to include in the HTML file.
Yeah.
Because yeah, the
It would
browser.
look really ugly. I mean, like the
Oh,
site
you
wouldn't
can
look
make it
ugly. I
look
mean,
you can make it look amazing.
no. I mean, the site would look good, but like if I were to view it, I'm like, why would you do this?
Just for fun, yeah.
Just for fun, yeah. That is cool though. I like that.
Yo, actually, there's a couple things that I was considering talking about in this episode as well.
What's
Because
that?
I was browsing through like through Twitter and stuff, and I follow Google's UX teams, and they've been like pushing hard on Flutter UI. You know what that is?
Oh,
Here.
Flutter UI. I'm gonna Google that right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna share my screen here.
All right.
So it's this UI framework that Google came out with, but it lets you build mobile apps like natively from within this framework. So it's kind of like a hybrid solution that allows you to build like iOS and Android apps, but they've introduced like new accessibility, not new, but like they've made accessibility on the phone very simple. And
Oh,
they've created like new interactions on your phone that make it like super fluid. So for example, like on your phone, like you know how you can like pan and zoom with two fingers, and like you can
yeah.
go through like photos and stuff, or like you can like swipe, or like you can use the different like accelerometers and different um, like things in your phone.
Yeah.
So it takes advantage of all that, but like in a very easy way. Um, Let me see if I can
So
show.
they basically just created really nice wrappers for all the functionality.
Yeah, so they created like their own widget catalog, and
Yeah.
and through here they added like new things. So like they have like all these animations like of how
Yeah.
to get to things. So like if you long press on your phone, then you can get a certain reaction. If you double tap, if you triple tap, if you quadruple tap, like you have different interactions. If you hold and swipe on an image downwards, then you
Yeah.
get a different interaction. Like all those like kind of cool things that you only see in like new apps. And you think that, oh damn, that probably cost a lot, or like how the hell did they do that? So
Yeah.
all those things they've included here plus new ones.
That's
And
sick.
and so they just released like a stable version of this recently, and they've been
Yeah.
updating it like very actively.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that at some point we should make an app on this, because they make it really
I'd be
easy.
so down.
Yeah, the only thing is it's based on their own language that they invented, which is called Dart, like their own programming language. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I've never used it, obviously, but I like when I was looking at it, it looked very similar to some of the languages I've used. Like I think it's more like it looks kind of like JavaScript too.
Okay.
But I thought it would be cool to make like an app using this.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, like when I was looking through this, I was like, whoa, this is like pretty impressive. Like, and they have like amazing documentation on this. So like, I'm
Flutter's
just pulling up
animation
one of
framework
these
gives you many
animations.
options to animate widgets with ease. And one great choice is the Animated Builder widget.
You can hear
Using
this,
an
right?
animated builder is simple. First, we give it an animation. Here we're using a tween. And
So
this animation...
The really cool thing also about Dart is that it gives you live feedback. So as you code, it gives you like the interaction like live in a preview of your phone. Because usually what you have to do is you have to deploy it, build it, like do all this stuff when you make any small change. But this is like completely real time.
Is that code that they have there legal?
Is it legal? What do you mean?
Like, so in Dart, you can have spaces in the names of your variables or your functions?
Yeah, so yeah, this is kind of weird. Like this final animation equals.
Yeah.
I've never seen
That looks illegal.
So that's what I mean. They've created their own language, but it looks similar to JavaScript. So I don't know enough about it. I just like was browsing this yesterday, and I saw like some of their showcase
360
things.
degrees in radians. Give it a builder that will return the animating widget. Here we're using the rotate transform to create a spin effect. You can give animated
so like you're basically
builder an
rotating with your
optional
finger
child
like
that exists
like this,
independently
but it lets you
of the
like
animation,
it lets you take
allowing
advantage of
animated
something there.
builder
Like
to optimize
if the
its
user
rendering.
does that,
And if you're
you can
wondering
make
where
it
that
do something
animation
else.
controller comes from, that's
Right?
entirely up to you.
I think it's
One
so cool.
recommendation would be to wrap your code in a build function.
So anyways, I don't know. I thought at some point it'd be cool to do something like this, but
yeah, we need to think of an actual app too.
Yeah, we need to think of an app like something that's useful maybe and make it. But yeah, that was something I was thinking about. And then the other thing is on the RetroArch, we should do the where we where you're playing and then I join a save state and then I'm playing like basically
yeah. I actually have an idea for an app. Like I wanted to do this. I thought this idea a while ago. There's actually a couple ideas. One is when you go out with friends and like you go on like a camping trip or like you just go on like a vacation or something, then the app shows you who's involved, who's bringing what's already been brought in, and who's paid for what, and who needs to pay.
Yeah.
So it's like the interface would have to like be such that it's really nice to see. I know apps like that already exist. Like when we went camping, right? We're always discussing, okay, who needs to bring what, and then we're like, oh shit, this guy didn't bring this guy didn't bring this. And then at the very end, like people wouldn't get paid, right?
Exactly. It would
like,
just be annoying for everyone.
Yeah, it'd be super annoying for everyone, except for the guy that didn't pay and didn't do anything, right? So this way, it's but there would be zero chat feature. There would be no chat feature, so it would just show like the participants and like items to bring, right? And then so when you want to bring an item, you would just click it and drag it to your name. And then once the items to bring are gone, then that list is exhausted, and then you know who's bringing what. And then you type down like what you paid for each item.
Yeah.
And then like the amount that you paid for the item versus the total cost, like it subtracts it for you. So let's say the total cost is like of the trip is like say $200, but you paid for the entire site, right? Which is like, I guess $100. Then you only owe $100 of your share.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the person that brought nothing, no, the total cost would be I don't know, like the math works itself out.
Yeah, we can make something like that.
Or we can make a game like Pong.
Yeah, Pong would be cool too.
Like I could play Pong with you, and like we could have like power ups. Like maybe one of the power ups is like there's like you hit the power up, like the Pong hits the power up, and instead the ball starts spinning faster. Or your paddle starts spinning and you can't control it for like 30 seconds. For 30 seconds, your paddle is spinning, and so you might hit it behind you.
Oh my god, that's 2 jokes. Yeah, I'm down.
Yo,
Uh,
if that existed though, would you play it?
I would play it maybe once. I would play it if it was online with like multiple people.
Yeah, it's online with multiple people. Like you can play with their friends, or you can just join a game, and then there'd be like a leader list. I don't know how you install all that stuff, but
Yeah, I would not agree with that. So the one thing I was thinking about, I've been thinking about this for a little bit actually,
Yeah.
is like some kind of like a localized rental service. So especially right
Okay.
now, right, where like a lot of people are stuck at home, like
Yeah.
I find that I'm kind of meeting my neighbors more. I don't know, like
Oh,
I've
really?
never spoken to any of these people before, but
Yeah.
like because we see them like at home more, or like if I go outside, if I go for a run, and then I see other
Yeah.
people, and like I recognize them because I've seen them before, then we start talking just inevitably, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what I was thinking is like all these people, they have things that maybe I could use, and maybe I have things that they could use, right? So some kind of like a service where
Oh.
it lets people rent your stuff, like for a fee or for free, whatever it is. But then at least like you can take advantage of your stay in economy, which is what I keep bringing up. But
Yo, that's actually a good idea. I like it. It's
yeah.
also really simple to implement too, I think.
Yeah, I feel like it should be simple because all you need is a map and like maybe like what you need to rent or like what you need to borrow.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
And obviously there would have to be a system where you could like have to rate the person.
Yeah, like look,
Yeah.
all that like social stuff can come as well. But
Yeah.
but the core thing would be just being able to borrow like your neighbor's stuff.
I like that. I like that idea. I think it's really good.
And
Even if the economy was normal.
yeah, like I was thinking about it when the economy was normal, right? Because like I think I was looking for something. I think I wanted like a carpet cleaner,
Yeah.
like one of those like steam mops or something, like for the carpets. And I was like, where do I get this from? Like I think the hardware store was where I got it from in the end. But
Yeah.
I'm sure like people have some like equipment, something like that that lets me do it.
Yo, let's make this. And then let's go to Dragon's Den. Pitch it. Let's go to Dragon's Den, pitch it, reject their offer so that we just get free publicity. Because those guys try to scam you. Those guys 100% scam you.
Yeah.
There's this one guy had a code checking service. Instead of actually going there with your ticket or something, you have like this card or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. He somehow solved the code checking problem at clubs, right? And everyone there said no. We don't think that this is important enough, right? And obviously the guy knew because people always go to clubs, right? And then so when he left, he got an offer.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have to edit this part out because we're giving away our ideas.
Oh, that's okay. I don't care about giving away ideas. It's all
So
about
what if someone makes it before we do?
it's all about the execution. If they make it better than me, then they deserved it better. Or they deserved it more.
I feel like the idea is worth more than the execution.
Yeah, but anyone can come up with ideas. If you don't execute on them, then they're just like letters or words.
There's a saying in gaming that goes like this: gameplay is better than graphics all the time.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, right?
No, but in this case, you're talking more about the graphics. The execution would be the gameplay.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Gameplay is more important. You just said that.
Yeah.
The execution
No. So the graphics would be like, well, the
no,
graphics would be
the
how they
graphics is just
program it.
what the description is.
So the graphics isn't the description. The
Yeah,
graphics
the
is
graphics
like,
are specifications.
yeah, graphics are the specifications.
That's a description.
No. The execution would be the gameplay, which would be the idea.
No. That's different.
How is that
Execution
different?
is not gameplay. Execution is execution is gameplay, but
Yeah,
graphics is specifications.
yeah. So if they're better at specifications, then that's bad.
No, specifications is not execution though.
I know. Oh wait,
You're
yeah, but
confusing
you're
yourself.
giving away the idea is the bad thing.
I mean,
That's the gameplay.
fine. You shouldn't normally give away ideas, but I think I like to give them away
Why would you like to do that?
because then I can understand like feedback around it and get a better sense. Like if I'm actually gonna do something and work on it myself.
Okay, that's true, but you should give it away to people that you trust.
Nah, if they're gonna build it, they can build it.
Yeah, if they're gonna build it, they can build it. But if you give them the idea to build it, and they're like, "I'm gonna build it for this guy because I know he wants to build it, but I think it's a good idea, so I'm gonna build it for he does," then that's bad.
So the way I think of it is if I'm building it for myself, then I know I'm going to do the best possible job because I know I need this, which is where this idea came from initially. Like I needed something and I like I know someone in my building like has this exact thing. So
Yo.
and I know that I have something that they want.
I have an excellent slogan for your app.
Be a good neighbor.
Fuck, that's even better.
What is it?
Necessity is the cause of creation.
Oh man, that's so many words.
Yo, be a good neighbor. That's actually so much better.
Oh man.
That's 2 jokes. Okay, I have to go now.
Yeah, so actually, I had to leave a long time ago. But yeah, this is good. I'll cut out some of this end stuff, maybe, or maybe I
Okay.
won't. I think maybe I'll just leave it. I think it was good.
That's up to you.
You know, like this idea giving away idea.
No, I don't like the idea of giving away idea. But it's up to you. It's up to you. It's your idea.
I love giving away ideas.
Why do you love doing that?
I don't know. Maybe someone will give feedback.
I like giving it away to friends so that my friends can give me feedback. Like
Well, who
obviously,
cares?
sorry.
Who cares if someone we don't know takes this and starts building it? I don't
Yeah.
care.
It wouldn't bother you at all that it was your idea
It would
and you
actually
wanted to do it.
It would make me happy because obviously I didn't have the time to do it myself, and so someone else did it, and that means that someone else thought it was that important to do themselves.
Yeah, that's a very good way of looking at it.
I think it's important to do, and I think we should do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And like I personally think I would do a better job than anyone else because I know that I need this. But like I'm not going to stop anyone else from doing it.
No, obviously you can't stop anyone else from building an app, right? Yeah, that's not possible. Well, maybe it is in some circumstances.
And actually, in some cases,
sabotage them.
You do want other people to do it because then you can copy them. Like you can kind of build off of their mistakes, right? Like,
is that your game plan all along? You want to see how you want them to do it so they go through the pitfalls?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm kidding, but maybe I'm not because yeah, if I watch them fail, then I can see what not to do.
Oh, you're too much.
It would be challenging even to like do this because there's not much money like someone could make from this, right?
No,
like it's literally it's based around like anti-consumerism, right? It's based around like sharing everything. Like so the more people use this, the less people buy other stuff. So like like it's in the best interest of like manufacturing companies that make tools or make things that are shareable to kill this.
Yeah, there's some people.
And that's my motivation too, because like I think we're over manufacturing to a point where like everything is just being wasted, and so I think this will reduce a lot of waste.
Yeah, actually, I think if this thing really kicked off, investors would really like this.
But why? Like what's like? Yeah, I don't get that. Why would you think investors would like it?
Because I would like people themselves drive the economy. Like you can have any business you want, but if there's a better alternative out there, it's gonna beat you. So
yeah, but they also have to spend money, right? So like
no, they also have to spend money.
So if you're an investor, what do you like about this?
I like that you're sticking it to the other companies, and that other people that are like-minded as you that can't afford these higher end things. Like the people that are rich, they're not going to want to borrow from the neighbor.
Maybe they will. I don't know.
Maybe they will if it's like a one-time use case. But
maybe their neighbor is also rich, and so they have other rich people things.
Maybe they do. Yeah, I don't know. But if I need something quickly, and I only want to use it one time, I'm going to use this as opposed to buying it, right? And so because there's a demand for it, people will use it. It'll be high traffic, and I want in on it.
Yeah, to me, I think that's a common I think that's a huge mistake that investors make, and they have been making. They just flock to users and like, oh, you have this many users, like I'm gonna invest in you. Like I
Like
never
Uber?
got that. I never got that. Yeah, because like if they're not actually in their balance sheet making more money than they're spending, then like as an investor, I don't get what the investment is.
You mean like Uber?
Yeah, like well, Uber makes sense, right? Because they don't own any cars, so their costs are very low. But they make percentages off of every single ride.
How much has Uber actually made, like profit-wise?
I don't know. I feel like they haven't made much because they spent a lot on like research and development. But
Yeah, my friend was telling me that Uber has made zero money ever since it started.
yeah, but at the same time, they've also got like billions in dollars in investments.
Which
And
to me sounds ridiculous. Like you
and
haven't
they
made a
pay.
penny.
Yeah, but they also pay their employees a lot of money too. So like all that money is still being generated from within the company.
Yeah, but that to me sounds ridiculous. Like you haven't made any money, yet people still want to invest in you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is a lot cheaper because you're using what tools people already have or what resources people already have, and you're just distributing them. So in that sense, I think it's a lot simpler, and people will use it. But then again, it's like Craigslist, but instead of buying things, you're just renting them.
Yeah, like it comes back to the whole sharing economy argument that investors pose, which is if I'm gonna borrow something from you the first time, why would I go through your app the second time?
Why'd I go through your app the second time?
Yeah.
Why would I go through your app the second time?
Like if I know that someone has something,
Yeah.
and because I met them the first time, like they have a bunch of stuff that maybe I could use, and they now know a bunch of stuff that I can that they can use of mine.
Yeah.
Like why would I go back to your app? Like why would I use your app again if I already know? Like
okay, if I went to visit someone that has something, I don't know if I want to give them my personal information. I'd rather talk to them through the app than create a new contact.
Like, if it's for like local people and like you kind of know them already.
If I know them already, then that's fine. But maybe I go meet them.
I guess you're right. Yeah. You're right. Plus, there's like some insurance stuff, right? Where like if you're borrowing something that's expensive, then like the app could control. Like if something happened to it, then like the app could act as a mediator, like in terms of.
That is where problems can exist.
No, I think that's where like people would trust this thing more.
Yeah, that's going to be the big issue though. Like if someone broke it while using it.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Like in their like kind of insurance, they would have that included, right?
Yeah.
And so that person would be liable.
This would be hard to implement, actually. I know it would be hard to implement. It would be hard to.
It'd be hard to like prove that.
Govern all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because then like you'd have to maybe get insurance companies involved and kind of get a quote and like see what the damage is and that kind of stuff. Or you can leave it completely up to them. I think you'd have to start with just like basically connecting two people together that have something or you want something, and just start from there. But like I said, I think as soon as you start to add like some kind of like monetary like strategy, it breaks apart.
What do you mean monetary strategy?
Like how do you monetize on something like this? As soon as you add something about like how to monetize on this, it makes it bad.
No, you make money off of this by ads.
What ads for what? Who's gonna buy anything?
No. Like ad space. Like when you click on the when you download an ad and you have to pay for the ad-free version.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's high traffic, then it's ad space.
But then that'll.
Isn't that Facebook's whole business model initially? Remember when Mark Zuckerberg was asked how do you make money? Like how do you make money? And he's like, we run ads, Senator.
Yeah, no, they run ads for other companies like on multiple platforms. They're like a whole ad agency, right? Like you pay Facebook to get because they have all that like personal information. They have everyone's information, and so they know who to target based on what you're selling, and then they post it like everywhere. Like they post it based on what the target audience is going to. So that's different. But like in an app, like I wouldn't want to put any ads. Like it changes the experience. Like I hate it. Like it not
I
only
hate it too, actually.
it not only changes the experience, but like the ads are generally coming from a different data source, right? And so it may even change the visual kind of
Layout?
not just the layout, the like how like bombarded your screen is with like other stuff. So like if you have your app, which is like your main function, and then all of a sudden you put like an ad over top parts of it, then it changes the experience of the entire application.
Yeah, that is annoying. I don't like it, but I understand why people do it. Like they wanna get paid something.
Yeah. So the only way like it would be like for you take a percentage of every single borrow fee. That's it.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's the only thing. But then again, it comes back to the whole thing where if you've rented from this person once before, then like why would you go to the app again?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But then
Like-
isn't that the same thing with like with other applications? I'm sure that's the same with other applications. Like let's say if you're a tutor, right?
Yeah, tutor. Yeah, that's the main drawback against investors investing in like tutor applications or like cleaning services, because like you can just contact that person again. Like you
They
don't need
actually sign a contract that says they're not allowed to do it for 5 years after
yeah,
they
so
leave.
I think that's illegal now in Canada at least.
Oh, it's illegal now because I remember I signed that when I was a tutor.
Yeah, they started doing that for tutors. They're doing it for cleaning services, like any of those like paid for service kind of
Yeah.
hires. Because the company wanted to, I guess, like stop other people from doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go. I have to go too.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna go. You're gonna go.
All right. Me too. See you.
This was good.
This is excellent.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.